All right, Jordan, good job, buddy. It held. God, I hope I got everything. Alrighty, boys. Let's go see how bad this is gonna be. This is really a tough one for sure. What is going on? It's not showing. It's weird. Yeah, this is a hard one and a very expensive one for sure. And I can tell you the 9 p.m. to midnight's horrible. But we'll see how much different the scores look like they might be from last year to this year. Uh, let's go this way. Thank you. Boys, it's just a practice run, but I figured anybody could watch this back, get the basic idea. This is going to be the most complex out of the qualifiers coming up for the World Catfish Cup. I did make the finals last year, but I did not qualify here. I was a fish or two away, but this one's really hard. And I'm sure some of these guys look like they already got it figured out pretty good too. So people will have room for adjustment anyways. Quite a ways away for the before this qualifier comes up. JL, you're finally into the Congo. Attaboy. What's up, Tom? I'm doing a live practice basically, Tom, for this thing, and if it helps out any of you guys, it does. This is definitely gonna be a tough one. Playing in a sponsored thing. That's if I don't lose connection here. What the hell is that? No, I'm skipping this skill head, man. I'd overscheduled myself. I'd already signed up for this one, so yeah, you can only catch from the shore. You can use your boat if you want to bring your boat somewhere and spot. So if anybody watches this back, obviously, you can use your boat to spot to a spot if you wanted. Again, this is merely just me practicing for this thing live, boys. Mine didn't go very well either. Jordan snuck in there at the end and got third, I think. Yeah, Jordan got third. He got one within, I think he had 13 minutes left or something. Took third, 218 pounder. I got a trophy towards the end. I had about 6 minutes left, but I backed out of it so I could get set up for this. Yeah, I'm surprised you wasn't in there, Fork. I think Dizzy forgot to sign up and was glad that he didn't. I kind of wish I didn't sign up for it. That wasn't all that fun, boys. That was exactly my thoughts after he said that, Tom. What's up, Tony? Last year, 20th was 670, and I want to say I got 640 in there, somewhere in there. So, but this is a very hard one. Hey, Ander, how you doing, buddy? I'm sorry, Marcin. I only know English, buddy. I only know English. I watched a little bit of it. I did watch a little bit of it, Tom. Well, I'm not sure. Nice, nice. I don't know. I don't know. That's what we're just practicing for fun. It's a sponsored custom thing, so that's why I told everybody at the start of the stream. I have no idea for sure that's what it's going to be, but we would assume that's what's going to be next, unless they change something. Okay, buddy. I appreciate that. My man from Poland. Well, that's not what we wanted. Is that an eel? It is an eel. Ha ha! 9 pounder too, fellas. That's the first time I got one hooked up. As you can see, guys, these guys are already catching 100-pounders too. This is going to be a really, really hard one this year, I think. In the event anybody needs marks for this, there's all kinds of different strategies you could take for this thing. Whether you want to take your boat and go spot somewhere. I do have marks that I used last year that I did fairly well off of in these little deep spots. And I just went 1, 2, 3. I did fine tune this a little. You can cast shorter. It's kind of hit and miss, but you can spot shorter and get uniques as well. And sometimes, depending on your bait, you'll get carp and that sort of thing as well. But there's a 70-pounder really, really close. I'm not even going to waste time on that. But this one's going to be a really expensive one too. In the event anybody doesn't have a mix, this is the main mix I'll be using just in this practice. In the event nobody had a mix for this. But yeah, this will be a very, very expensive qualifier, boys. Oh man, they can go probably 75 to 110, somewhere in there, man. The 100-pounders are hard to get, but yeah, they can get up there for it. I think the biggest one right now in slips got it. I looked on the leaderboards yesterday. I think the biggest one right now caught 108 pounds. But it's the best 10 ultimately in the qualifier to be your biggest 10 that you can catch in 2 hours. But I can tell you the last 45 minutes real time or from like 9 p.m. Assuming the peak's the same this year in qualifier 2, the last hour when it gets dark, the peak is horrific. Really, really slow bite. So what I'm attempting to, and this is just early because who knows for sure when this thing's going to happen. What my first thoughts are is spot some short spots uh, as quick as I can, see what I can get, and then go from there. But these guys have already been practicing this just as soon as the crappie thing ended. They were already practicing this. So that's kind of what everybody's up against. There's going to be people that practice for it hard, and then there's going to be people that barely practice for it. Entirely going to be up to you. But I can tell you, if you want an easier qualifier, more random, Q1 at St. Croix for catfish, the blue catfish there, or Q3 at Quantico for the flathead would probably be the easier one to follow along with. Also, you can see at the speed that they're catching him. End slip had an 85 pounder, now he's already got a 95 pounder. So, in that short amount of time, he's already got 2 uniques. I'm hoping that's a carp or a trophy. That's a nice trophy. That was off half a mix, but I'm going to keep spotting it. Again, I'm trying to look and save time. Is kind of what my thoughts are here, fellas. This one looks bigger, but we'll see. Might be a carp. Alright, we got a 70 and a 72. And that was just a little over half a mix. Unfortunately, I just wasted part of that too. Dang it, man. That was quick. Alright. In the event anybody needed this mark, it's also a big head mark that I use as well. So if anybody needs a mark, but I did get an 87 pounder as well there, but it's a nice close short spot if somebody needs this in the future. And then I'm going to go right back over here to fishing on the main. Come over here to the left and start over. As far as hook size and baits, that's kind of where you guys are going to come in. Anybody that watches this back, you're going to want to figure out what you want to do there. I do notice duck mussel, they really do like, but so do carp, eel, that sort of thing. So cut baits work. Obviously, almost anything for catfish. Mole cricket larva that works as well. Whatever you like. Hook sizes, that's completely up to you guys. Yeah, that's why I said this qualifier may not be for everybody, but I figure if I was going to put something up on my channel, I'd at least have this up so they kind of got a base idea. Anybody you guys want to watch this back. And number two, you can decide if you want to play in it. I'll play in it, participate. I did make the finals last year, so to me, I've already made it to the finals once. It doesn't really matter. I did have fun in the catfish thing, and I will participate, but in the event, you don't want to spend a bunch of time spotting or money on it. It's entirely up to you. But if there's guys that are wanting to learn it, at least they can watch this back and have some idea what to do. And the marks and that sort of thing. As far as your strategies, again, if you wanted to use a boat, you can use a boat and spot to a spot, uh, and then drive over to the bank, cast out, that sort of thing. Maybe you can get a little bigger of a wells if you spot out farther. Again, in the practice that I did, or I played in this last night, the RFF had put one up, and for whatever reason, I don't know if they're shallower or deeper. It's something to figure out for anybody that does want to participate. There's something definitely odd, other than the peak drops off really bad at night. The bite is really slow at night, so I can't figure out if it's you need to be in the spot, a deep spot, change the mix a little bit, something like that. But I can tell you it gets really, really slow after dark. And as you can see, the guy at the top there already has 348 pounds. What up, Zach? No, worse. I'm just doing a practice for and I'm just going to stream it and put it up on the channel. This one's going to be so complex to understand and figure out. I at least wanted to have it a practice run going up. It's a sponsored custom thing set up for the Q2 Catfish Cup. But yeah, a lot of spotting. 2 hours of spotting. Very, very expensive Q2. Yeah. And if anything, people are going to be able to see. You like spotting tooth, Keith? Yeah, I get into it, but it's not for everybody. But like I said, out of the qualifiers, boys, this is going to be the most difficult one. Q1 and Q3 aren't bad. That, or you could spot out what's going to happen here when this goes to night, Keith. It is really, really bad. So anybody that goes to practice for this, I cannot stress that enough. You're going to have to practice that night peak. It's really horrible. You could spot out nothing happen, catch carp, depending on what bait you're using. Obviously, duck, mussel, mole, cricket, that sort of thing is going to bring in carp. Uh, Eel's going to interfere and bite. I caught a unique eel here at my first spot. The eel's going to interfere if you use cut baits and that sort of thing. Uh, that's something I'm still trying to work on myself. I scored 600 and something in this last year, but I was a fish or two away. But yeah, it's going to be really, really difficult. I can't tell if you need to kind of like the meaty fellas where they go in the deep. I've tried that and it didn't. I thought that was the deal, but it was not. But in other words, there's so many deep spots. I think with spotting it won't matter. Well, that's the thing. And me and Sober practiced it last night too, Keith. And you lower your hook sizes, that or you'll catch a bunch of carp and everything interferes. Yeah, that was the same thing. Or it just was slow no matter what. But I mean, you guys can pick your own spots. Like I said, I've got these spots right here treated me really good last year. So if you wanted to cast in the deep, you could here. Like I said, these 3 spots, these are all solid for me. And you can just go from one spot to the next. And then that other spot I put up. But it doesn't really matter. In other words, you could pick a spot over here, spot it with your boat, and then go put your rod stand over here, if that makes sense. So that's something you guys are going to have to practice for on yourself. But yeah, this is going to be a very, very difficult one. And it's a very expensive one to practice for as well as time consuming. And I can tell you that night peak will wear you out. And then if you get one small unique, you're kind of in trouble. That's actually a pretty good trophy. But yeah, you get one undersized unique in this, and that's kind of seal your fate almost, just for time constraints, because it takes so much time to spod. You're spending a lot of time to spod, so you're going to have to learn how to manage your time in this one as well, because 2 hours will go really, really quick. Except for the last 45 minutes, it's going to be painful. And I've even tried switching my mix up at night and taking an aroma out, swapping aromas out. It helps a little bit, but not enough to keep the bite rate up where you need it, I think. So that's something you're going to have to work on. If you're really lucky, you'll qualify in Q1 and you won't have to deal with this one. I think that would be ideal. If you don't like spotting, put your effort towards Q1, I would say. But as you can see, boys, right there off the, literally right here in front of me, 84 pounder. So it's an option for you. Like I said, no guarantees. And if you wanted to, you can really just go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But I do like to change spawn points. I think that might help a little bit. So I'm actually just going to go right back over here and respot this spot. We'll see if it works. Why not? We're practicing, right? It's not the actual run. Yeah, like I said, there's going to be so many options. I was going to put a guide up on this, but I don't want to give somebody bad advice. I think it would be better off me to just kind of show this live. Then people have plenty of time to make their own adjustments. At least they got marks, the basic idea, that sort of thing, kind of like a comp play along, but for a qualifier. Like I said, I did fairly well in this one last year, but the scores are going to go up. And it's one that, like I said, I made it to the finals last year, so I honestly don't care. I'm going to play in it just for fun. But you'll also kind of see what some of these other guys that are really good at it already, kind of what the scores are going to need to be, see how much effort you need to put into it, or how much effort that you want to put into it. But for me, I like spotting, so I think it's fun anyway. But if you don't like spotting, probably not the qualifier for you. You will not stand a chance in this if you do not spot. It would be like playing in Jolly Carp and not spotting. You'll have no chance. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, if anything, just get experience out of it, fellas. I played in it last year and I was one fish short. I had caught one. I thought I had 10, but I want to say I must have had 9 with a really, really small one in a trophy or something. But I was basically like, I think 15 to 22 pounds away. I can't remember. I can't get the thing to load. But I ended up qualifying at Quanchkin. And then I think I took 10th or 11th at Maroon in the semis and then made it to the finals and I think took 16th or something. The finals are at the Amazonian Maze. Also, what I'm thinking is to save time, I cast out exactly half of my mix, or 83 ounces or somewhere in there. When it gets down to 83 ounces, I stop, put my rods out. It might get a little smaller of a unique, but I'm just trying to get as many unique as I can while the fishing's prime. You'll see what'll happen. Look at this peak, but you watch and see what this peak does. It is horrible when it drops off to 9 p.m., and I'm not even being sarcastic. It is so bad. Anybody that played in that, Tom, if you remember playing in that Teenies in the Night thing that one time, and you can only catch like 4 or 5 fish, it's that slow. It's bad. You could spot out an entire mix and not get anything but a carp and some eel swim off, depending on what bait you're using. It's really horrible. So my early advice would be is get as many as you can out quick. Yep. It's that same peak, Tom. If you recognize it, it's that same horrible peak here. Really, really bad, man. So if anything, you might even practice that night peak only and see if you can figure out something earth-shattering to change your luck at the night. Maybe that's also an option. That might be what I exactly do. Figure out the night part of it. Obviously, I know on the daytime I can get uniques fairly quick, even if they're not 100 pounders. I'm getting some in that always I have some some scoring fishing in that, and then adjust from there is kind of my thoughts. If you guys have noticed too, all the baits I'm throwing out, they just keep hitting the duck muscle. It might be a carp this time, but I'm definitely getting the bites off the duck muscle. There's a nice carp. Well, we got a new carp spot, boys. I'm trying to remember what I got out there. I think I got frog, cut bait. What else did I put out there? Lambari. And then just to save myself time, so I got rods in the water, I've casted them out after I threw out half the mix, and I'm just going to keep splashing the water with the rest of my mix. Again, just trying to get these out as quick as you can. And obviously, if any of your spots blank you, you're definitely in dire straits. I don't know, Tom. I can't. I'll pause it at the end and see. I couldn't get the qualifier to pull up last year, but I'm pretty sure it was 670 to something. To I don't know, bro. I'm thinking first place might be 825 to 900, maybe. Now 20th place, I don't know. I have no idea. The scores go up, Tom. The scores go up. My guess is, and this is just early, my guess is you're probably going to need an average of 70 pounds per fish. That's just an early guess, guys. It's hard. You know how these things, Tom, you would have thought you'd have qualified in that pike thing with 66 point whatever pounds, but I hate to make those predictions because the scores can drastically go up. But that's just a guess. My guess is around 70 pounds, somewhere in there. Might be 680 or 680 to 700 or 68 pound average to 70 pound average catfish uh, on 10 of them. So probably eight decent uniques and two big trophies, something like that. Boy, and I'm hoping I could come back over here. We'll see if it spawns in. It should have a bite a little quicker. And then if one of your spots blank you, let me look this up real quick. Yeah, all three of my uniques were off duck muscle. Even though I'm running mole cricket, cut bait, frog, and dead lambari. As you can see, the unique all three times chose the duck muscle. Last year, the highest was 794, or the cutoff was 794. If the highest was 790, that was first place. Okay, so last year the first place guy averaged 79.4 pounds on PlayStation in Q2. And 20th was 635. Man, I knew I was really close to that last year. I can't remember what it was, but I know I was like a fish away. But I can already tell you I'm off pace now even. And that's just a practice, boys. But since I got a 70, a 72, and an 84, sizes are going to get you too. Yeah, it'll go up, Keith. We'll see how this one plays out. But as you can see, now the trophies are counting on here, so we'll see it when he dumps his net. Or these guys dump the nets, and then we'll kind of see. And this is just a practice, so who knows? And the peak, unless they change the peak could be different, that sort of thing. We don't know. Last year, the biggest one was 96. Okay, that's not what we wanted. Dumping it. 97, actually. I don't think this is him either. If so, he's small. I think that's a cart. No 100-pounders last year. give about 5 more minutes, fellas. If not, I'm gonna have to go spot somewhere else. I probably should have went back to that first spot and then came back over here, but I just wanted to see for test purposes. If you guys are following along, I started at the right there at the that spawn point. Then I came over here and then I went to the other spot and then I tried coming back here. So we'll just see if this plays out or not. In other words, you might have to 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, that sort of thing. But I just wanted to see if it would work. In other words, can you go 2 different spawn points and fish the same spot at each spawn point? That's what I'm kind of testing now. If you're following along. It seems like it's made it a little slower. Maybe. I can't tell. I don't seem very big. Trophy, maybe? Nice trophy, though. Holy cow, that's a nice trophy. As you can see, they keep hitting the duck muscle. They like the duck muscle. Now will Uni respawn. This definitely seems a lot slower this way. I don't know, fellas. We'll take it down to about 119, 118 if we don't have a bite. I'm half tempted to put duck muscle on extra. Neither one of them look big. That's definitely not big. Let's see what this is. Baby whales. I'm thinking about replacing lumbari with another duck muscle. The reason being, if you noticed, look at what we're getting bites on. Duck muscle and frog. Alright, we'll take it down to 118 if we don't have one. And you can see one mistake like that's going to put you way behind. That was an eel. You can tell it's swimming off. A little longer. Okay, guys, I think for sure you're probably going to want to, let's see here. Yeah. Yep, you can, I'll try them on this next one, Essex. I did try those last night. It was a no-go for me. Again, that's something you guys are all going to want to test out. I didn't bring them with me this time, but I did try them last night. But I noticed one thing that was just certain. Like I said, you guys might find the same thing when you guys practice this stuff. Test a bunch of different baits out and see if there's one that gets more than others. But for me right now, even though the duck muscle picks up an eel or that sort of thing, uh, duck muscle just seems solid. But I think for sure you're going to want to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. What I was testing there to see if I could go from that spot back over to the other spot, back to that spot. But I think, in other words, just use 2 spots, trying to save yourself time. I think you're definitely going to have to use 3. At least that's my early assessment on it. Unless we just got really unlucky there. So my thoughts now before it gets dark, see if we can go 1, 2, 3 right here. Or 1, 2, and then back over that spot that we just missed on. Pretty sure that's a card. Oh man. Obviously, if two spots miss, you were definitely in trouble. But I was just testing out to see if you can go one, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yep, for sure. But if you're following along with what I'm saying, Keith, I think you're gonna have to go 1, 2, 3. Oh my God! Of course I got a bite right when I'm on it in. But just to kind of show, last year I didn't spot in close. These are all my marks from last year, and all I did there was just went 1, and I went over to here 2, 3, and this went 1, 2, 3. But it's a lot farther of a cast. I mean, you could ramp this spot right here with your boat, ramp over that, and get over here if you wanted, or just pick a spot at each spawn point. But I think it feels like you're going to need 3 separate spots. But it takes so long to spot out there. So it's going to be entirely up to you guys what you want to do. I haven't 100% decided what I'm going to do just yet. Other than it would be great if I qualified in Q1. That would be fun. Well, in real life, it's 190 pounds. Holy cow, that would be awesome, Flano. I've never got to fish for him in real life. The biggest one that I on the thing right now is 108, but I want to say they get around 110, man. I know they're bigger at Actuba. I want to say they might be able to get them oversized up to 110ish, but I know there's one on the leaderboard right now. N Slip has it of 108. My buddy Sober got one 100 last night when we were still practicing around. But it's definitely hit or miss. But there's going to be so many different variables in this. I was going to put a small guide up on it, but I think it's better off to people watching this stream. They can decide what they want to do, see how this one plays out. Make whatever adjustments that you want from there. You might get a better quality or bigger fish if you take your boat and spot one of those deep spots, and then drive over to the bank nearby, and then cast your rods out a mile. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out. But last year I just went 1-2-3, 1-2-3, and I had around 600. But I can tell you I'm off pace to this right now. But I did try going from just one spot to the next just to see if it'd work. But that spot blanked, and now this one's definitely slow. I'm not sure why this one's so slow right now. To be honest, I don't know how I've held fifth. But looking at the leaderboard up there is definitely going to be some room for improvement for sure. But and who knows? At least on PlayStation, the scores they could be as high as 900 maybe. Can people get an average of 90? I don't know. Why are we not getting a bite now though? This one is slow to come in. I don't even know if that's one, to be honest. That might just be a trophy or a carp. Oh no, that's a Wells. That's a nice one, boys. Took him a while to come in. Hit the duck muscle again, fellas. I said pick your own baits, but that's a nice 88 pounder right in front of us, fellas. Right in front of us. That's a good looking fish. Took him a while to come in. But again, on the baits I had there, he took that again. Now what I'm going to do is just spawn here, save myself time, spawn right back, and then go fish this spot to the left. Again, I don't really know if your marks matter. You guys can figure that out, but I did put those marks up if people need them. Hey, Twan, how you doing, man? What platform am I on? I'm on PlayStation, man. I'm on PlayStation, bro. What's up, Scully? You're on mobile. Right on, buddy. Doing good, Scully. Working on some stuff. I figured I'd just put up a stream. There's a sponsored custom thing. Some guys had up for the Q2, an event that the catfish thing comes up. This is the harder one to figure out, so practicing, trying a few things, put up some marks, showing some short spots, long spots, giving people, just showing them what I'm going to do early on here, and I'll have to make adjustments myself, but just putting this up as a kind of something to watch and something to think about and practice for yourself for this catfish thing. You're doing some practice. Yeah, this one's gonna be brutal, man. This especially when it goes dark. I did try going from just spot 1 to spot 2. That did not work. I think you're definitely gonna have to go 1, 2, 3. I did go 1, 2, 3 last year, I think, in early on. But yeah, this one's the most difficult one. 1 and 3 is definitely, in my opinion, kind of RNG once you learn it. But this one here, there is definitely gonna be some drastic scores. I think it's definitely gonna go up this year. As you can see, Lucky Charms up there has got a really good score. So does, we'll see if they dump their trophies later, but I think it's safe to say the score is definitely going to go up on this one this year. And I'll try something different this time. I'm going to put, I'll throw the frog out first. Lag spike. Damn the lag spikes. Nope. Mole cricket. And guys, mole cricket as well, if you didn't know, can pick up carp. So food for thought. Again, your guys' hook sizes, bait selection, that's all up to you. I'm kind of falling the medium right now with the 7.0s. I might come off of them and go down a little lower, but I can tell you when it hits dark, it is very, very slow. It's so bad. I cannot stress that enough. If you're to practice this one, definitely practice something at night and see if you can figure out the night part of it. Very, very horrible. Not the same thing. It's just a trophy. Watch some of my videos about sharks, but you're still having trouble getting fish with. Yeah, those sharks can be tough, man. You just got to keep trying. uh, One thing too I didn't mention in that video is if you're not getting a bite, maybe try braid. You can try running without titanium leader. You can get bit off, but you know, sharks will eat about anything, man. Blood, shrimp, uh, large cut bait, huge cut bait. I've caught them on duck mussel. I've caught them on crayfish. Obviously, your minnows work, but the bass, the bicuda, the arowana, everything around those islands seem to interfere. Piranha. Um, Depth wise, I normally stick around that, you know, like that 27 inches. Some people might go a little shallower, deeper. The deeper you go, obviously, you're gonna, you know, catfish those Pariba there, and everything else is gonna interfere. So I wouldn't go too deep. If you want a general rule of thumb, maybe as shallow as 10 inches, as deep as probably 40. I don't know if you went over, you know, 40 inches deep, you're definitely asking for catfish to bite, in my opinion. As you can see, this is already slow. Yep. Those catfish will not leave you alone there. That's why I'd say I would recommend the shallow, but yeah, the bite can be really slow on those sharks sometimes. Bull shark with a mustache, yeah, maybe, man. I still don't think this is him. No, that's not him. That's weird. That thing bit right when I set it down. Oh, jeez. Here we go. Now we got our first rod issue. Well, that's not him. Let's see what this is. I don't think this is him either. That's definitely not him. Maybe, dude. This one. Speaking of shark, I'm debating, Tom. I'm debating. You know how that don't bully me shark can go. I'm still trying to decide, man. I won that shark comp yesterday, but that's a lure comp. I can use a lure in that. You know how that don't bully me shark can go. If they give you the dead bite rate for an hour and a half, that's pretty painful. We'll see, man. I haven't signed up for it yet, I don't think. I'll have to look. Are you gonna do it? Yeah, it's a long one if you don't get a bite, man. If they do you that bad luck run, yeah, it's a long hour and a painful hour and a half. And I was really hoping this thing was gonna bite before dark because once it hits dark, it's gonna be even worse. This is gonna be painful. I'm pretty sure that's not even him. Nope. Oh, and it's dark. This is gonna be bad. Now we're carping, boys. We may not even get a bite over here. Yeah, Zat, that's what we were just talking about. You ready for it? You going into it, Zat? I don't know if I can handle it after this is going to be so slow right here. I don't know if I can handle an hour and a half of slow shark after this. And I still need to eat dinner. I'm not 100% sure, boys. We'll see. I still got 46 minutes of this torture. And now if this one misses, it's going to be really bad. So what I'm going to try to do, if I don't get this one, I'll give it about 5 minutes just in case. That other one, if you notice, that 88 pounder came in, but he was a little slow. If this one don't come in, I'm going to downsize the hook to 6 and spot the front. Yeah, well, Zat, you know as well as I do, Jur and everybody that time, Jur and Jordan all quit that Don't Bully Me shark because it was so slow that time. If it's one of those peaks where you get 3 shark in 45 minutes, that's just silliness. Depends on what peak it is there. I like the Big Brother when I did good in yesterday just because it's more fun. Yeah, well, you know what I'm saying, Tom. If you're going to sit there for an hour and a half and not catch anything. Double check it, Zat. I think it's only float. I think it's only float, bro. I'm pretty sure Don't Blame Me Shark's only float, but you can have a look at it. It might be floating bottom. I can't remember. I know Big Brother's anything. Spinning rod, casting rod, bottom rod, float rod. All right, fellas. What do you think? Take it down to 41 if we don't have a bite. What's up, Jer? Oh, playing in this slow thing. Putting this up just as a... It is floater bottom, okay. Well, maybe that's the way to go, bro. Bring a bottom rod. I'm not sure if I'll do the shark. We'll see how this goes, boys. I know this is going to be a painful 40 minutes right now. Jared, that's what I was just saying. You remember that time not too long ago when you and Jordan said, hell with this and quit? That's what I'm worried about. I don't know if I want to spend an hour and a half on Friday and don't bully me sharks not getting bites. Not when I could go do something else, man, or practice for something else at least. Wow. All right, I'm going to try several things here. I just don't think this one's going to come in. I waited it out as long as I could. Let me, all right, we're going to try two things here, guys. This is just for test purposes for this qualifier, boys. So, again, this is just kind of a dry run. So let's test another thing. Let's go, we'll change some hook sizes, obviously, because, again, look at this peak, guys. When you guys go to playing this, it is so bad. It's like teenies in the night or length matters on a even worse time. This peak right here is horrible. So I'm going to downsize. I'm going to do... What do you want to see, boys? Should we do... Let's leave a couple... Let's try the Club Series 6s on 2. We'll put both of those on duck muscle. Or no, let's don't. Let's go one extreme to the next. Let's go 3 on duck muscle and a 6. We'll go a 3 on a frog. And let's go a 6. We'll take this one out of the equation for now. I'm also going to go to a more of a night mix. I'm running a heavy chaser. You could, Tom, or Zat, or sorry, Zat. You could, Zat. I'm using these just because of the real shredding. Until they change it, I would rather have the lighter set up. As you noticed, I pulled that 88 pounder in fairly easy. But that's what I used a second ago on the 80 pounders I was catching. And now I'm gonna try. Well, if it'll go over here. I'm just basically swapping out some aromas here, and I'm putting in X flavor in the place of sweet crucian. I know this peak it's just really, really slow. Well, I was hoping just to get a quick bite, but I can tell you in this for sure, you're going to want to score quick at the start, because I'm not exaggerating how bad this peak is. Like I said, if you guys were to practice this, anybody that watches this back, practice that horrible peak that I just showed. You're going to want to see what you can do to get oversized wells in this peak. Is it at deep spots? Do you have to drive a boat out and spot a spot deep? Will they still come in at the shallow? Do you need different hook size, different bait, different mix? There's so many variables you're going to have to figure in, but this is 100% slow right here on that spot of it. So definitely figure that out. And we'll try a deep spot, and then we'll go try a shallow spot. We have just enough time to do it. We'll talk it out. This game, as you think, it's going to be rough, and that's also why I want to put it up. I'm going to stream it when it comes, and obviously I'll make whatever adjustments I need to before the actual run. Now, if I get really lucky, like I said, I'm going to go 138 feet out. Remember that. If I get really lucky and qualify in Q1, it's not going to hurt my feelings. But I am up for the challenge. And as you can see, these GTF guys, they've been practicing hard already. So they're already practicing it hardcore. And again, for time saving wise, you could drive your boat up to a deep spot, like I'm saying, following along. Drive your boat up to a deep spot out 30 foot from your marker or whatever. Save yourself time. Then drive all the way back to the bank with your boat at any spot on this lake. You need to find spots that you can get off, put your rod stead down, see how far you can cast to it. There's going to be a lot of stuff you'll have to work on for this one, fellas. But I know all these spots work, but like I said, there's going to be some major adjustments you're going to have to make to manage your time. Because if the low end last year was, what would you say that was, that 635, and the high end was 794 for 10. And obviously Lucky up there's kept trophies. I'll look at my net towards the end and see what the actual score is with just 10 fish. He hasn't dumped his, or I'm not sure if he set it up correctly. One thing I did also test off stream, I know you can get an oversized wells on half a mix, both of these mixes I'm using. But again, to save time, I'm throwing out half the mix, and then I'm going to throw my rods out and then splash on top of it, just like I did on the day peak. And we got kind of a low end hooks. For the most part, we're going to have 3-0s and 6-0s just because the peak dropped off. And we'll see if, are we going to get a bunch of blocker fish? Will it change anything and we get an oversized wells on a 3-0? Or will it just be dead no matter what we do? We'll just have to see. And also on a side note, if you do end up picking deep spots where you have to cast out like 190 or 200 foot from the bank, because those deep spots are going to be a long ways away other than the spawn point that I'm at, you might want a bigger setup than a heavy chaser or something that's a little faster, because that's one problem I had in my head is if you run something else, and your blockers will even kill you just from that far out. Because in other words, if you're having to cast like 160 or 200 foot out, even reeling your blockers is gonna eat up some of your time. We spot that out 138. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. I used McConzies last year, but the fighting aspect was a lot different. Even when you got an oversized trophy carp in the 40-pound range last year, it was pretty horrible. But these little match casters on a heavy chaser work all right. Should I put one, like 201, just to see what happens? Should I put it like a Club Series 2 on, just to see if something picks up, or you just get a bunch of blockers? Maybe we'll do that. Just keep it in my hand. And let's go dead Lombari. See if we can isolate out a little bit, at least avoid carp. I think that's a small hook again, but it doesn't appear to be very big, of course. 138-ish. Trophy? That or a carp, maybe. All right, we got a 35-pound trophy off a 3-0. let's see. Okay, that's officially 10 fish, and we only got 4 uniques currently. But we did try to alternate one spot right back to the next. That did cost us. But our score is with 10 fish. Okay, so we got a 2-0, a 3-0. We got a 2-0, 2 3-0s, and 2 6-0s out with a full nighttime mix in a deeper spot. And if we don't have something by, let's say, 18 minutes left, we know our mix is about wore off anyway, we'll go over and try a shallow spot and just see if there's something different between a deep spot and a shallow spot on this particular night peak. Also at night, definitely be prepared to count. We'll see if any dragonflies roll in here. It's going to be that slow. And on cue, here one comes, guys. And as boring as this is, guys following along here, realize I got a 2-0 out, a 3-0 out, another 3-0 out, and 2 6-0s out. So 60% of the rods out there have a 3-0 or smaller. Do what? The 3 GTF guys? No, they're not going to share their secrets, man. Why would they? They wouldn't do as well if they shared their secrets. That wouldn't. They put a lot of the hard work in. They wouldn't share that sort of stuff, man. What do you try? The red-tailed barracuda? Uh, number four with small minnows for me, Jer. Number four with small minnows on a float. Right there at Orchard Shore. Number one would work. When I won that point by point the other day, Jer, I actually used the number four, small minnows. I think Josh was recommending a number one though. Oh, well, I don't know exactly how. Let me look at something real quick too. Hold on, let me look at something. And anybody that sets up templates, let me look and see if they did, if the scoring's catch, that score is going to look insane. I'm keeping mine accurate as I can. I would have to dump, but if you can look at my net, I've got 10 in here. Let me see if they set this up where they could have set it up where it's catch all. If it's catch all, then that means everything that they've caught trophy and unique wise. Yeah, it's catch all. If you guys go to set this up and you want it a little more accurate, you can see where their scoring is. Instead of doing catch all, that's why that score looks so weird. All their fish are counting and that you can't dump. If you want an accurate deal, whenever you guys go to practice something like that, put your scoring on keep. So that's only what's in your net. So if they go over, in other words, they keep catching trophies on top of it. So they put catch all. They didn't put the scoring as keep. That's a note on this as well as when you guys go to practice it. Put it on keep. That way, whatever's in your net counts. So in other words, the next carp that I catch, regardless if I dump it, if you're not following along, the next carp, or if I'm lucky enough to get another Wells, the next Wells I'll catch, my score will go up no matter even if I dump it or not. So if you put it on keep, obviously it's what you're keeping in your net. They got it on catch all, but I've got 546 with 10, if that makes sense. But as you can see how slow this is. That's the point I can't stress enough, is you're definitely going to want to figure out you caught them accidentally but forgot what. Yeah, it'd been a while. Josh helped me out on that, Jur. Josh had helped me out on that one a ways back because I did on the recatch too. He had, my buddy Josh helped me on that on that red-tailed barracuda. That's not something you keep on a mental note very often. I want to say they bite something else too. You can get them on a baby spinner. I've got them on a baby spinner before, Jur. Like a little 1.0 nano spinner. They will bite a little nano spinner, but you're better off trying to get it on a minnow. And I want to say do they bite leeches or something too? They might bite leeches. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I went for the red tail. Prawns. Keith likes the leeches. Well, yeah, it's 20. Yeah, it's 20. It's 20 bait coins though, Jer. Centipede, grasshoppers, shiners, and my PB is a 3.0 plus. Holy cow, Josh is a red-tailed barracuda slayer. I want to see if that rod flattened out or not. Ooh, 6.0. I don't know if it's a carp or a. Let's hope it's a Wells, fellas. Okay, boys, we did get a 77 pounder on a 6.0. Took a while for it to come in, but we did get one in the deep spot. So we know we can get one in the deep spot on this peak 6.0, but you can also fall along. I did not get anything special on the 2.0 or the 3.0s. Again, this is just a test run, guys, so do what you want there. Now I'm going to try a short spot just to see if it's even possible with this little bit of remaining time that I have. And let me see. I might what I might do is take a break right after this, and then I'll come back in. How much time? Yeah, I'll have a little bit of a break, and then I'll come back and start a separate stream up. Maybe. I don't know. Are you guys playing in the shark thing with me, or are you guys just gonna leave me hanging there? If nobody's playing in it with me, then I don't know if I'm gonna play in that. In other words, misery loves company, fellas. That sharking it up, Jur. Are you gonna play? All right, Tom's gonna muscle it. All right, Zat's gonna be our Huckleberry boys. He said he's a big fan of that movie Tombstone. Val Kilmer, I'll be your Huckleberry. Jur's in. We know Jur's not scared of a challenge, fellas. GTA, where have you been, man? I haven't seen you that much lately, buddy. Albu. Albu comes right in with the dono. Thank you for the dono, Albu. I appreciate it, man. How you doing, buddy? And GTA, where have you been? I've not seen you in a long time. I'm gonna start about 20 minutes late. Yeah, as soon as I'm done with this, guys, I'll end this stream. My wife was kind enough to bring home some Pizza Hut for me and some wings for the big guy. So I got some wings to eat, and then I'll come right back up and we'll go after the shark. So yeah, I'll probably start that about 20 minutes late, maybe 15 minutes late, as soon as this is over. But I want to test this last spot for test purposes to have this up on the channel, and we'll see if we know we got that oversized wells in the deep spot in this horrible peak with this mix that I'm using in the event somebody don't have one. From there, just adjust the numbers, do what you want. It was on a 6.0 in duck muscle, but we want to test this and see if we can get one in a shallow spot at night. I'm not sure. Maybe they migrate to the deep. That's something you guys are going to have to test on this. Oh, you're fine, GTA. I was just glad to see you, buddy. I figured real life's keeping you busy. Busy at work, my man. And Tom loves the wings from Pizza Hut. As do I. As do I. Essex, you're going for the shark as well? I appreciate it, boys. Oh, you might, Zat, for those shark. You did get a nice 200 and some pounder off of it. I might join you, bro, if it gets slow. I don't mind catching the baby shark in that. It's just when you're not getting a bite, man. Sure. Yeah, Jerry, you could start 20 minutes ahead of us, and somehow we'll all finish, and you'll have 5 minutes left. I know the deal, Jerry. Sure. Yeah, me too, Zat. Don't we all in that? I think we're fine if we get smaller ones, but as long as our shark are biting, right, fellas? Let's hope that happens. All right, I did a little over on purpose, guys. Now we're doing the same thing. Let's get these rods out of here. We'll be curious to see in this last 13 minutes, can we get a oversized wells or even a unique wells up close on this peak. And hold on, guys, I'm a moron. I wasn't paying attention to my spotting distance. I do oh, it is it 76? Yep, it's 76. Okay, we did that right. I would recommend that you do be somewhat accurate within 4 or 5 feet whenever you spot. Make sure that you get, whether it's landed on the bottom, I would keep it somewhat accurate within 5 feet of where you've spotted. That you can see that shallow, but I did catch multiple fish in the daytime peak off of this spot. But we don't know if it'll work at night on this Q2, guys. That's what we're testing. And we're going to splash the water and see if we can get a bite here in the next 12 minutes and get one landed. What do you guys think? Do you think we'll get another unique up close? Or is it going to be deep only at the end? It's hard to say. I haven't quite figured it out myself. I do know one thing, boys. The GTF got a lot of this figured out already. Well, I don't know. Is it the opposite? They move from the shallows to the deep. That'd be another thing to test, guys, because if you guys... Oh, hold on. I will tell you from experience from last year. I can't screenshot or anything because I don't have one and it won't show me, but I know I was 600 and something. I was basically, I think, 15, 20 pounds off of qualifying last year in this. But I did fish those. I just went 1, 2, 3 on those marks that I showed you there at that spawn point. But it was deep spots the whole time. So I don't know, but this is something you're going to have to experiment with. But I can tell you, this night is horrible. I've stressed it, I think, 5 times. That would be the number one thing that I would tell you to practice for. Figure out the night peak. Get your marks together. Adjust your mixes. Figure out your hook sizes. Whatever bait you like. But for me, and the practices I've done so far, duck muscles solid, even though you're getting blockers. Don't mean canned meat or something weird or freshwater crab. I did not try freshwater crab. I did try canned meat. Canned meat was okay. This is probably a carp. Or is it a cat? Is it a nice cat at the end? Up close and personal? Or is it just a trophy? Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. We're good. We're good, fellas. That's up close and personal. Scratch everything I just said. These boys could be anywhere. These boys could be anywhere. At night. I don't know, fellas. That's 6-0 duck muscle. That's 6-0 duck muscle, fellas. And obviously, we don't have time to spot. Let me tell the guys from GTF, thank you. Alrighty, boys. Let me look at this net real quick. Obviously, we don't have time to respot, but that's a cool part. Again, if you need marks, this mark's solid, as you can tell. I would just kind of, anybody that watches this back, I would not, don't go 1, 2. In other words, I wouldn't go here and then go right back. I would, this spot here, I said, I'm telling you again, this is solid all the way through here, whether you want to go the deep spots. That's what I ran last year, as you can see by the timestamps. I ran this last year and I literally could just go 1, 2, 3 like that. These are short marks if you need them in closing here. And then as well as where we're at. Also, I don't know if I marked it. Yep, you can get this one right off the dock as well. Short spot. Now, are they catching these lunkers? I even throw that spot. Now, are they catching these 9,500 pounders out here? Or are they using a special hook, size, or something to get these bigger ones? That's up to you guys to figure that out. But I just wanted to make sure there was something up on the channel to help you guys out. At least get you a base parameter. Let me look real quick and see at the. All right, if we dump two out, that's 70, around 70 pounds. So we're losing 70 pounds. What's 70 minus that? Where you at, mathematician? So we're around that 650 range. We're still that one error though. If you remember, I went from here back to there. Like I said, last year we think it was 635. So that's at least enough to get you guys a base start on this. So it should be enough to give you guys a base start. 642.6. Okay, so off of last year, we would have qualified barely. We barely would have qualified off of last year's score with this run that was just on there. We'd have took about 19th or 20th. Yeah, I'm going to play the shark thing, but let me go eat and stuff, fellas, and I want to end this stream, and I'll start another one. Give me about 15 minutes. I need to eat real quick, but I just wanted that up, as well as I'll show you something. Hold on one second real quick here, guys. If we go back to the Hall of Fame last year, it will not let me pull it up for whatever reason, but just so you know, I did qualify last year. As you can see, I made it to the finals, and I took 16th in the finals. That was a lot of fun. I don't really care if I qualify this year. I'm going to participate and have fun. If I do, if I qualify, that's fine. If I don't, but I do like to see new people get in there. I hope that somebody makes it in the qualifiers. I will participate in all of them, but this is one I wanted to put up for sure and try to help you guys out. But again, from there, you guys got a lot of homework, I think, to do on your own. But for whatever reason, it will not let me pull up the qualifiers. It just sits there and loads. But I qualified in Q3 last year, but I did fairly well in Q2. So I wanted to share my knowledge that I had from last year as well, so you guys can adapt on your own. So hopefully that helps you guys out some way, somehow. I will relabel this stream and come back with just a Friday night competition here in about 15 minutes, guys. I'll have to get set up for the shark thing as well. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. This does conclude the Q2 practice for 2024's Catfish Cup. We got 1, 2, 3. As you can see, the duck muscle, man, for me. You guys try out all your own baits, your hook sizes, but we were able to we did that one mishap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We should have had 7. From there, you guys are going to have to do your own homework. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully this helps you guys out now and any guys in the future. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one. About 15 minutes, guys.